Mexico, allegations of enforced disappearance and human rights violations, highlighting the lack of accountability from the Mexican state and the struggle for justice by his family over the past 30 years.
President of the Court. Good morning. We are gathered here today for the public hearing of the case Gonzalez-Mendez versus Mexico. This case involves allegations of enforced disappearance and violations of the American Convention on Human Rights. We will hear from the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights and the representatives of the Mexican state. I remind all parties to follow the procedural rules and to present their arguments concisely and respectfully. Let us begin with the representative of the Commission. Commission Representative.
Thank you, Mr. President. This case concerns the enforced disappearance of Rodolfo Gonzalez-Mendez, who vanished on February 30, 1991 in Guerrero, Mexico. His disappearance occurred in a broader context of state violence aimed at suppressing political dissidents. For over 30 years, the Mexican state has failed to provide his family with justice, violating their fundamental rights under the American Convention on Human Rights, specifically Article 4, the right to life; Article 5, the right to humane treatment; Article 7, the right to personal liberty; Article 8, the right to a fair trial; Article 25, the right to judicial protection. Despite repeated requests, the state has not conducted a thorough investigation, nor has it held any accountable. This lack of action perpetuates a system of impunity.
We respectfully request that the court recognize the violations committed by the Mexican state, order full reparations to the Gonzalez family, including financial compensation and a public acknowledgement of responsibility. Order full reparations to the Gonzalez family, including financial compensation and a public acknowledgement of responsibility. Order full reparations to the Gonzalez family, including financial compensation and a public acknowledgement of responsibility. Mandate structural reforms to prevent future enforced disappearances. Thank you, Mr. President. The Mexican state deeply regrets the disappearance of Mr. Gonzalez-Mendez and recognizes the suffering endured by his family. However, we must emphasize the following points. Since 1991, multiple search operations have been conducted. Law enforcement agencies have employed forensic analysis and interviewed potential witnesses to uncover the truth. Judicial investigations. The case has been revisited on several occasions. While no definitive results have been achieved, this demonstrates the state's continued commitment to resolving the case. Recent reforms. In 2017, Mexico enacted the General Law on Enforced Disappearance, establishing specialized prosecutorial units and mechanisms to address cases like this. These reforms underscore our dedication to combating impunity and ensuring accountability.
International obligations. Mexico is a signatory to the American Convention and other relevant treaties. We reaffirm our commitment to upholding human rights and improving investigative practices. We request that the court recognize these efforts and consider the structural changes implemented to prevent future violations.
Judge 1. To the representative of the state, given the prolonged timeline of this case, how do you address the perception of impunity? State Representative. While the investigation has been lengthy, we stress that our legal system has evolved significantly. The creation of specialized units and the enactment of new laws demonstrate our resolve to resolve historical cases and prevent future occurrences. Judge 2. To the Commission, how do you assess the recent reforms in Mexico's legal framework? Commission Representative.
Your Honor, while the reforms are a positive step, they have not yet yielded concrete results in this case. Structural changes must be accompanied by accountability for past violations. Commission Representative. President, members of the court, justice delayed is justice denied. For over 3 decades, the Gonzalez family has waited for answers. We urge this court to hold Mexico accountable and provide the family with the reparations they deserve.
Mr. President, we acknowledge the pain caused by Mr. Gonzalez-Mendez's disappearance. The state remains committed to finding the truth and ensuring justice, while also implementing reforms to strengthen human rights protections. President of the Court. Thank you to both parties for your presentations. The court will now deliberate on the evidence and arguments presented. A decision will be issued in due course. This hearing is adjourned.